What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our season preview, including record predictions for the Philadelphia Eagles for the 2021 NFL season. All that and much more coming your way right now! Hey Trash Talkers, it's Mike here. Over 93% of you who view our show each and every day are not subscribed to the channel. If you could hit that red subscribe button, it would help us out tremendously, and it is completely free for you guys. If you want to stay up to date with our daily content, then click that bell icon and you will be notified every time we go live. Nick and I both really appreciate you subscribing to the channel, and we can't wait to keep making more daily content for you. All right, Nick. Well, as we continue on with this series, we next up have the Philadelphia Eagles, and not a lot to talk about as far as additions are concerned, but let's go through them nonetheless. The Philadelphia Eagles bring on Anthony Harris, Joe Flacco, Andrew Adams, and DeVonta Smith, their number one draft pick from this year. Who do you believe was the biggest addition for this team?
Oh, the biggest addition was Anthony Harris. To have Anthony Harris, an all-pro, Pro Bowl free safety who's going to pair up with Darius Slay in that secondary is going to be huge for them. This secondary is finally taking some shape, and I think that he's going to help them a lot, especially on a defense with so many holes. I think you got to rely on one part, and it's obviously going to be the secondary. Anthony Harris and Darius Slay are going to be the go-to guys to really lock it down, and I think Anthony Harris is going to be a big part of why the Eagles have a little bit of success this season. I think Anthony Harris is really a big signing for them.
Yeah, I'm actually going to take DeVonta Smith, their rookie wideout. I think DeVonta Smith comes in as arguably one of the best receivers that we've seen in a long time, with his size, speed, mobility, his ability to get in and out of breaks quickly, and his durability, frankly. I mean, when you looked at Jalen Waddle, he had a lot of those same similarities, but he didn't have the durability. DeVonta Smith comes in with just that. He comes in with the ability of availability. So I just believe that this is going to be a huge step up, especially after some of the losses that we go through. DeVonta Smith is going to be a huge step up, and somebody who's familiar with Jalen Hurts and how he likes to throw the ball as well. So not too bad for them. But let's go through some of the losses that the Eagles went through. They did lose Carson Wentz in the trade with the Indianapolis Colts. Alshon Jeffrey and Desean Jackson both leave this wide receiving core. Malik Jackson, Jalen Mills, Vinny Curry, Nate Jerry, and Duke Riley all gone from this team. Which one of these stands out biggest to you?
Jalen Mills was a huge loss for the Eagles this offseason. He was a really good flex player that they could play at safety, at nickel corner. He could play inside the box as a linebacker. He could really do it all, and that's a guy that holds a lot of value. And to lose him on this team means you now have to fill a bunch of different roles on this defense, and it's going to be hard to do. It's very hard to come by guys like Jalen Mills who can do it all. So I think that Jalen Mills is really going to be a huge loss for them, and you're really going to feel the loss of his presence this season.
Yeah, I know it's tough because these guys didn't really play, but I'm going with Alshon Jeffrey and Desean Jackson. These losses are not just losses on the football field, but they're losses in the locker room. When you take a look at this wide receiving group, yeah, I talked about how DeVonta Smith was great, but when you're talking about Greg Ward and some of these other guys that you are going to be leading your team for receptions, I just can't imagine that this is the group that you wanted to go into the season with. Alshon Jeffrey is a proven individual. He's a proven commodity as a wide receiver in this league, and he just has not shown up for the Eagles. But he he has the ability to show up, and I think that not having him on this roster is a major loss. Desean Jackson, we saw highlights of what he can do. He takes the top off of any defense, doesn't matter how old he is. This guy burns corners left, right, and center. So at this point, he's a massive loss, and DeVonta Smith is going to have to learn quickly. It would have been nice to have Desean Jackson there to mentor him a little bit, but either way, both of those guys are gone. Huge losses for the Eagles. All right, so let's get down to the part that everybody loves, the record predictions. And I'm going to tell you right now, Eagles fans, you're not going to want to see this. It's not going to be very pretty. So let's start off with the first game of the season. The Philadelphia Eagles are on the road against the Atlanta Falcons, and I don't believe Julio Jones will be there. I'm going to start off by saying that. But I do believe that the Falcons will still beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts. This offense is still explosive at times. They have a new coach in Arthur Smith. I think he's going to get this offense right and quickly. I believe that the defense showed signs of life toward the end of last year under Raheem Morris. I think that they're going to be pretty dominant. I think they're going to be able to jump all over Jalen Hurts, and they're going to really show why they belong in the upper echelon of the NFL. So I think that the Falcons at this point will take over for the Philadelphia Eagles.
The Falcons may get the better of the Eagles in week 1, but in week 2, the 49ers now have to go to Philadelphia to face the Eagles. And I believe the Eagles are going to show how strong they are, how resilient they are, and they're going to get the better of the 49ers. This may be a strong 49ers pass rush, but this is not the same 49ers secondary. And their offense is beyond awful. The 49ers lost a ton of weapons. Their wide receivers can be handled by Darius Slay and Anthony Harris. I believe that they'll be able to keep the offense of the 49ers under control, and the Eagles will be able to put up more points than the 49ers.
All right, so then we move on to week 3, and the Eagles will be visiting the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World. And with the return of Dak Prescott, the return of this offensive line, this offense is going to be extremely formidable, and I don't think that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have the answers for them, especially after how last year ended for Dallas. They are not happy. They are on a revenge tour. I believe that the Dallas Cowboys are going to mop the floor with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, it seems like the Eagles are either winning their home games or losing to the home team, but now when they face the Kansas City Chiefs at home, they're going to lose this one to the away team. The Kansas City Chiefs are just too strong. They're not going to have any issues dealing with the defense of the Eagles, handling the offensive weapons. The Chiefs are going to easily take the Eagles in this one.
All right, so after a tough loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles go on the road to Carolina, not too far, straight down Route 95. And I believe that the Carolina Panthers, now with Sam Darnold, are going to be able to handle this Eagles team. Again, there's a lot of holes on the defense. There's a lot of holes on the offense. Everybody kind of knows in that building that this is a sort of a rebuild year. They want to see where Jalen Hurts is at. They want to see where this offense is at. They still need to get some more weapons for him. Is Dallas Goedert playing? Is Zach Ertz playing? Who knows? Those guys, continuously in and out of the lineup. I believe that the Carolina Panthers will end up winning this game.
And then it just gets harder from there because the Eagles are at home again, but they're facing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And to me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just one of the strongest teams we've ever seen in the NFL. And they're going to take care of business against the Eagles. It's not going to be a pretty one.
But there is some relief, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel because the Philadelphia Eagles then go on a 2-game road trip, starting off with the Las Vegas Raiders. I believe that the Philadelphia Eagles will go into Las Vegas, and it'll be a very close game. It's going to be a shootout, in my opinion. But I think that the Las Vegas Raiders will end up getting the edge on the Eagles. I believe that they have just enough firepower to beat them out, and I believe that the Las Vegas Raiders under John Gruden will be able to just ultimately hold off the Eagles on a final last-minute drive.
Well, moving into week 8, the Eagles are off to a 1-6 start, and it's not looking so good, but they get to go to Detroit to face the Lions, and this is a Lions team with a lot of holes themselves, and this could be a really good game for the Eagles to bounce back from, and I think that the Eagles are going to do exactly that. They're going to put up some points. They're going to get their young wide receivers into some big situations to make some big plays, and we're going to see this secondary really come to light and really help stop the few weapons that the Detroit Lions have. It's going to be a nice win for the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right, then the Eagles return back to Lincoln Financial Field, and the Los Angeles Chargers will come in as the opponent coming in. And I believe that Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, as long as these guys are healthy, they're going to come in and they're just going to blow the doors off the Philadelphia Eagles. I believe that the Chargers are one of the most underrated teams in the NFL and arguably a top 5 team in the AFC. So I believe what the Chargers are here to prove is that they're going to beat up on one of the weaker teams and really show what their firepower looks like. Look for the Chargers to make a statement in this game.
In week 10, the Eagles go to Denver, to Mile High, and take on the Denver Broncos. And Denver is one of the hardest places to play in the NFL. You've got the thin air. You've got one of the loudest fan bases in the NFL. It's going to be a lot for Jalen Hurts and this offense to handle. I think the Broncos have a good enough pass rush to get to the quarterback, to get a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts, make it tough for him in the pocket. And I think that the Broncos are going to get the better of the Eagles in this one.
Yep. And then moving on, we have the New Orleans Saints. Now, this is a Saints team not like old where you had Drew Brees and company coming in. Rather, it's Jameis Winston coming in with Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara and not much else. But I do believe that the Eagles will have an easier road against the Saints than normal, and they'll be able to beat them pretty handily. I believe that the Eagles will win this one with ease.
Well, now we have the first game against the Giants in week 12. The Eagles go to MetLife to face the Giants, and the Giants at this point in the season, everything's going to be clicking for them. This offense, all the new weapons, they'll have been in that system. The chemistry will be there. The defense got better, and to me, the Giants are just a much better team than the Eagles. They'll be able to take care of business.
All right, so the Eagles now have the second of a back-to-back at MetLife Stadium, and with Philadelphia being so close to East Rutherford, New Jersey, one has to wonder, are they going to stay in New Jersey for this game, or are they going to go back to Philly and then back to MetLife? I don't know. We'll figure it out when the time comes. But at this point, they face off against the New York Jets. And I think the Jets are actually going to win this game. I think the Jets have the firepower with Zach Wilson, get that offense ready to go. I think that the issue with the Jets, though, is their defense. And Jalen Hurts is going to be able to showcase his talents and put up some points with DeVonta Smith and company, but I do believe that the Jets will end up winning the shootout here, and they're going to eventually end this game. And don't forget, this is kind of a revenge game for Joe Douglas going against his former mentor and Howie Roseman. So not much bad blood there, but definitely something to prove. And I think that the Jets are going to be all in on this game.
Well, after coming off a bye in week 15, the Eagles take on the Washington football team at home, and this should be a really good game. But at the end of the day, Washington is going to get the better of the Eagles. They have a stronger offense, a stronger defense. I don't think the Eagles' offensive line is going to be able to handle this nasty pass rush that Washington has to offer. The Eagles are not going to be able to stop the new additions, Curtis Samuel and Adam Humphries, in addition to Terry McLaurin. Darius Slay and Anthony Harris are great, but I just think that it's not going to be enough to handle Washington.
Then we go on to week 16, where the Giants now come to Philadelphia, and I think the Eagles will actually win this game. I believe that the Giants have struggles. Daniel Jones' inconsistency is going to be on showcase here. This is usually about the time where we no longer see Saquon Barkley on the field, so I don't expect him to be playing. And then we take a look at some of the weapons that the Eagles have. They're going to come into their own, and I expect that they're going to be able to put up points and also stop the Giants' offense just a little bit. They're really going to get after Daniel Jones with his lackluster offensive line in front of him. Doesn't matter if he has Kenny Golladay and John Ross and all of these other guys around him. It's not going to matter because he's not going to have time to throw the ball. I think they're going to come after him early and often. And they learned from the first game how to play this team.
In week 17, the Eagles now go to Washington to face the Washington football team. And in this one, the Washington football team, they still have fresh in their minds exactly what the Eagles' game plan is. The Eagles are not going to be able to change too much with such a young quarterback, such a young offense. And I think that the Washington football team are still going to get the better of the Eagles in this one.
All right, and then the Eagles, with a measly 4-12 record, come into the final week of the season. They have a chance to upset their division rival Dallas Cowboys with the final game, meaning so much to the Cowboys and not so much to the Eagles. but the Cowboys are going to be driven. They're going to be motivated. Jerry Jones is not going to have this team lose to the Eagles the final week of the season. Mike McCarthy knows how to do his job. The Cowboys are going to win this one very easily.
That's a tough stretch for the Eagles, as the last 4 games of the season are all divisional games. And divisional games, as we all know, are some of the hardest games for your team to play because they know you so well. They know all your holes. They know your game plan and what you're trying to do every single time. So it makes it that much harder to succeed against them. That's going to be a tough task for the Eagles, but they're going to have to work really hard during that bye week to try to straighten some things out.
Yeah, not only the last 4 games, but I would say 5 of the last 6 as well. And when you go through an entire season going against opponents that you don't know, constantly having to game plan, and then 5 of your final 6 games are against teams that know you so well that you're not going to be able to hide anything, it's going to be a really tough stretch for them starting in week 12 and moving on all the way through 18. So I look for the Eagles to really go through a rough patch toward the end of the season. And again, as we talked about, this is just kind of where we expect them to be this year. They still have a lot of growing to do, a lot of work to do. They got multiple first-round draft picks for the next few years, so I look forward to them to rebuilding this franchise. But until then, that'll be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.